someone that is out of retirement, Dave. Logic.
Hmm.
Um, Logic is interesting person in interesting artist in the time of our podcasting because he's really, I think, kind of run the gamut from dropping some really bad projects, things that I don't know if we will ever go back and listen to some that were, I think, surprisingly like really strong and things that we really liked. And we've talked about him way more than I ever expected to on this podcast. Um, but here we are. He's out of retirement after his last album, which was what, last year,
About a year to the
two
day
years.
almost. Yeah, late
No
July
pressure.
2020. No pressure. The retirement album. And yeah, we've talked about him a lot because he doesn't take a year off. He's released something every year, including the year after he retired. And I, man, like I was so frustrated to see these early singles start showing up, partially because I wasn't impressed with anything. And then to see this Bobby Tarantino 3's coming at the end of the week, guys. And like, like a few weeks ago, he does the MJ letter, I'm back. And it's just, I just let out a huge groan because No Pressure was great. It
Yeah.
was Logic at his absolute best, all his best qualities in terms of production choices, actually laying it down with real bars and like thoughtful songs. And he earned all that hoopla he made about retiring. And he
Hmm.
wanted to spend more time with his family, hang it up, blah blah blah. And what we said at the time, the odds of him actually retiring were basically zero. We can look at the
Yeah.
history of rappers retiring. It's especially he's only like in his early 30s. Like there's no chance he's actually retiring, but still, I thought it would go more than a year. And we very quickly got the uh, beat tape he did under a different name on which is out on Dat Piff, came out in January, and then get some singles popping up. And towards the end of Bobby Tarantino 3, you actually get the most interesting part about this is when he's just talking. And he's like, "Yeah, just kind of decided to make this. Brought the homies out. We threw everything together. Blah blah blah. And we're making this album, or did he call it the final album? I don't even remember. It'll be
Think
my
so.
last album on Def Jam, is what he says.
Hmm.
So he came back to make Bobby Tarantino 3, and then this upcoming album because of his Def Jam contract. So the whole premise of No Pressure was a fucking fallacy because his Def Jam contract wasn't even done. Like, why wouldn't you make two throwaway Bobby Tarantino tapes and then do No Pressure when it's your final album? Like, he couldn't even retire for a year. He had to honor his contract still. Like, are you fucking serious?
Dave, you seem
Ridiculous.
pretty upset. Let it out, man. Just let it all out. This is a
But
safe
also, the
space for
tape
you.
sucks. That's the problem. Like,
You don't like it?
I don't like it at all. I think it's trash. Like, this is right up there with his worst shit. I think
Yeah.
the only thing that's redeemable about it in terms of it, comparing it to his other bad projects is that it's not like this huge swing and a miss the way like everybody was or something. But this is like Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, his fifth album. Just
I
completely
think
nondescript, boring, nothing you want to listen to again, completely fades away. Because like we said when we talked about No Pressure, like we said when we talked about um, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, when he does more mainstream trap indebted contemporary hip hop trends, he doesn't stand out. It is not his
mhm.
strength, and other people just do it better than him. And that's exactly what we got once again on Bobby Tarantino 3. So yeah, I think it sucks, but the whole premise of it just pissed me off. I'm really frustrated.
I love hearing how frustrated you are. That only because I agree. I didn't think that this was a standout tape. I don't necessarily think this was really bad. I guess I found it to be a pretty easy listen. I think it had a couple of moments that stood out, but I don't think this is an album that's going to make any year-end list or even be remembered that it came out. But inoffensive in a lot of ways. However, I do find it pretty funny that you kind of knew that the retirement wasn't real, and then you're like, he even fucked up the fake retirement is like basically what you're saying, which is really funny. Um, yeah, in listening to this and in thinking about, you know, uh, no pressure. No pressure was such a love letter to like his influences,
Yeah.
and the way he just kind of like unabashedly like bit off, Kanye uh tracks, Jay-Z tracks, things
Yeah.
like that.
Tribe.
It- yeah, yeah, it just made it really fun and like wow, this is such a thoughtful, well produced, has a great through line to it. Just a lot of it made sense. And this just did feel like I'm just putting this out to put it out kind of thing. And like
Mhm.
nothing on here really stands out. And it's funny because the two moments that I think stand out the most, one, Cynthia Erivo fucking crushes it on this. I loved her. And she was a breath of fresh air because I was like, okay, I need a little bit of a break from Logic. And then what's the one? Get Up, where he like pretty much like this is a Kanye song. He's like, this is or no, maybe it's not that one. I think it might be later on. Call Me, maybe it
Mm.
might be the one I'm thinking of. But he's like, this is the workout plan too, whatever. I was like, okay, sure. Like it sounded pretty good. So I'll go with those two tracks. But it's not good that that one track that stood up second most. I don't even remember the name of it. So just
Yeah.
it's nothing.
Yeah,
It's
that's the
nothing.
thing. Like, just being more specific, Vaccine. Just listen to the
Oh,
hook on
terrible.
Vaccine. It's just really, really, really terrible. And then My Way, the hook there, he's singing. Shocker, but he's not good at that. We already knew this from Supermarket, the companion to his book. Like, this is not his strength. But he just can't help himself when he's not looking back. When he's looking back, it's great. Even Young Sinatra 4, which was not like his most successful album by any means, but that was still great to listen to because it was just old school boom bap shit, you know? And it was rapping, it was actual bars and shit. This is just so nondescript and boring. And I'm just baffled that this is what the comeback listen is. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's tough, man. And I was looking today on Billboard. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind just got certified gold like a few days ago. Young Sinatra 4, like you look at everything, he was not selling as much as he did at his peak of the Incredible True Story Everybody peak with 1-800 and all that. He he's had some valleys the past few years as an artist,
Mhm.
despite having big first weeks because he has a big fan base. So it's like, yeah, I'm not surprised to see that people aren't going back to the songs because the songs just aren't as good as the other stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Then again,
By the way,
I don't think he
go
cares
ahead.
that much because he's very successful.
Yeah. The song I was thinking of was God Might Judge, and
Mm.
that one does sound very much like a Kanye track. It has like the tuned up vocals in the background running through and whatnot. And the track Get Up, I thought was pretty nice. Just kind of like dreamy, airy, light. But again, you don't listen to Logic for that stuff. Like
Yeah.
you listen to, I don't know, Claro for that, I guess. So um I don't know. I think Logic is just kind of in this place where his projects are very hit or miss, and we might be getting to the point where maybe we're just going to stop reviewing every single Logic project 'cause it doesn't seem like it's really worth it at this point. So,
Honestly, and again, it's like feels like this was done out of necessity due to his label contract, and that's just
yep,
frustrating because it's like, please just put off the retirement if you have to get some shit out, you know. On the
absolutely.
on the positive side, I will say, end of June he put out the YS Collection Volume One, which is a series of young Sinatra mixtape songs of his from the early 2010s that he was able to get the samples cleared and put on streaming. And there's a lot of good stuff on there, like Man of the Year, 5 a.m., Ballin', All I Do, which is his first big hit. So if you're interested in the old Logic, when he was probably the most exciting, go check that out because it's now much easier to listen to if you didn't have those mixtapes from back in the